In the summer of 1932, up to 25,000 American World War I veterans gathered in Washington, D.C. along with their wives and children in order to demand immediate bonus payment for wartime services to alleviate the economic hardship of the Great Depression. After the demands of this bonus army, that's how the gathering was named, were not met by the Republican-led government, the protests quickly escalated into riots and violence. As a result, US President Hoover deployed the military, who, armed with tanks, cavalry, tear gas, and bayonets, used force against thousands of desperate veterans. Leading the US troops against these combat veterans were Douglas MacArthur and George S. Patton, who years later would become US national heroes of Second World War. During the violent suppression of the riots, at least 2 World War I veterans were shot dead, approximately another 100 arrested, while dozens more were wounded. In fact, Joe Angelo, a decorated World War I veteran and a hero who saved General Patton's life back in France on September 26, 1918, approached him soon after the protests were dispersed to try to convince Patton to join this side of the protest. But the general quickly dismissed the words and pleas of the very man who saved his life. Ultimately, the way the government of President Hoover treated these veterans during this event caused a hard blow to his popularity and was one of many reasons which helped the Democratic candidate Franklin D. Roosevelt to win the following election. Ironically, in May 1933, the protests of Second Bonus Army happened, now during the Roosevelt administration. Unlike the previous administration, however, Roosevelt didn't send tanks and soldiers to deal with the protests. Instead, he sent his wife, the First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt, who talked to the protesters, after which some of their demands were met.